What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Ace's Place 22, where I'm Ace, and this is my place. And yes, the lighting is red. It's probably blurry on your screen because I don't have the best quality video. But you know what? You love me, so you're going to like, you're going to subscribe, you're going to comment down below, and you're going to share this video so everybody in the world can see the greatness that is Ace's Place. That being said, I know I'm a little late on this, and I totally spaced on doing the video until I realized the newest episode of Daredevil, Born Again, was last night, Tuesday. I don't know when the new one airs. Yeah, yesterday. It was Tuesday yesterday. Today's Wednesday. I'm all sorts of all over the place. That being said, I totally forgot to do a video of my thoughts review of episodes 4, 5, and 6. So we're going to do that right here, right now, in this video. Excuse me if I'm all over the place, per usual, with these reviews. I watched episode 4 2 weeks ago. So you will have to pardon me and my brain when I get into this. So we will start off with Daredevil Born Again, episode 4. I don't know if there's actually names to these. I have notes. I got to read them. Sorry, folks. That's how it's going to be. Matt's... And I'll give you a recap from what I can remember as well. In episode 3, it was the trial of Hector Aguero. I don't know what his last name is. Something like that. Who is the White Tiger, and he was on... or he was in court for police brutality or something along those lines. Daredevil got him off by the end of the episode. From our fan perspective, the police did not like the way the outcome went, so someone killed the White Tiger wearing the Punisher logo, and that was how the episode ended. So episode 4 starts off, pretty much right there. Matt, I'm going to refer to Matt as Matt when he is not as Daredevil, because there is a distinctive difference. Matt's trying to find the killer the killer of White Tiger, Hector. We see Muse for the very first time, and he's just, oh man, I'm trying to remember how it was. I know we saw him for the first time walking by a train or something like that. We see more marriage counseling with Kingpin, or with Wilson Fisk and his wife, Vanessa. I know a lot of people don't really like the counseling stuff, but I personally find it entertaining to a degree, because it's something this season of Daredevil has on its complete own thing, is this marriage counseling stuff. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. Oh man, this was by far one of the worst episodes, just in the... some of the characters, not a lot of action or anything, but there was this one guy who was a criminal, and Matt is representing him throughout the episode in different ways. And the dude's acting is just trash. The character is trash, and it's just like, good lord, this is bad. They started to lose me, not as a viewer. I definitely am still going to remain watching Daredevil, but at that time I was like, oh, this looks weird. The mayor, Fisk, wants to buy the piers or the docks or loading bay. I'm not really sure what it's considered, but he wants to buy that for business purposes, criminal purposes. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go on with the show. They show a funny scene where you see the Kingpin or the mayor at a not a charity thing, but like a volunteer kind of thing, where he's at the school and he's listening to these little kids do a recital of a song, and you can just tell that he would rather be anywhere than there, but he's trying his best to be there. I personally like that scene, because I was just like, oh my god, could you imagine if the Kingpin had to sit through this and he just didn't want to? There we go. The mayor's little helper messes up. I didn't really like that part of the story, because in the beginning you see the mayor's helper, I don't know what his name is, going out with the news reporter girl and someone else, And the last time you see him in that scene, he's getting into a taxi cab, and there's no indication that he has malice or bad intent. And then the next time we see him in the show, he posted a story about the Kingpin or Wilson Fisk being trash or something like that. I get it. I got it mucky. But I just was like, why would he do something like that? And maybe there's more to it than what I'm realizing, because I haven't seen the episode in 2 weeks almost. So that was kind of weird. There was this tense moment of like Fisk being like, "Ugh, I could kill you," and then him being like, "Yeah, you probably should kill me because like I fucked up, you know." And he'd be like, "You're a good boy and you learned, but don't do it again or I'll skin you like a piece of chicken," something like that. I enjoyed the scene. Nice tense moment. Matt eventually finds the bullet casing to what we all believe is the bullet that killed White Tiger. And it has a Punisher logo on it, the little skull. And Matt is able to track that to like a warehouse or something like that. And he confronts, it's the first time we've seen him this season, but he confronts Frank Castle, the Punisher, which was a pretty awesome scene. This was by far the best moment of the entire episode, of Frank and Matt going back and forth. Frank pulling out the, what do I want to call it? Pulling out the, I don't know. Leaving nothing off the table when him and Matt are talking. Like, he's literally, like, bringing up Foggy and everything like that. And Matt's just choked up. He wants to break down, but Frank is pushing him. And all it made me think of was their first encounter in season 2 of Daredevil on Netflix, where you've got both Frank Castle and Daredevil on top of the rooftop, and Punisher's got Daredevil chained up to the chimney stack or whatever it is. And it's just awesome. It's just awesome dialogue. Like, yeah, I want fighting. Of course I want fighting. But the dialogue is really, really top notch between those two. Charlie Cox, I've never seen him in anything else other than Spider-Man. But he was Daredevil or Matt Murdock in that, so it carries over. He's really become this character of both Matt and Daredevil, so it's really good. And then John Bernthal as Frank Castle. I mean, that guy is just, he's great. Even when he was Shane in Walking Dead, people loved him, even though he was a dink in that. So just a really great scene. They end the episode with Matt and his new girlfriend just kind of hanging out in their loft, kissing lovey-dovey. And then it's doing that flash, back and forth between, a good moment and a bad moment. And you get to see Kingpin now in this wine cellar dungeon where he has been keeping this Adam fella in shackles and in a little cage, not a cage, but like a celled room. I don't know how long he's been there, probably a really long time. His beard and shit is super long and his hair's really long. So I don't, there's a whole story there to go. And then that Kingpin is sitting there eating dinner, and that's the big revelation of the episode, is that Kingpin is keeping this Adam, who was Vanessa's lover at one point, alive for his own devious reasons. And then the very, very end of the episode, they show Muse one more time, and he is extracting the blood of a victim. And we'll find out why. Right here, right now. And we're going to flip right into episode 4 of Daredevil Born Again. There's a lot to go through. I kind of remember this episode pretty good. Very basic episode. The whole entire thing takes place in one location, and that is a bank. It's on St. Paddy's Day. You get a group of guys in there to hold the place up. They're looking for a specific item. They all have their colored oriented masks. I call them the Cranbox Gang, or the Crayola Gang. That's how I have it written. I have him as the Crayola Gang because they all have a different color mask. This is me and my own little theory. The lead bad guy, or the lead, gang member, he is wearing a green mask. I have no idea if that's supposed to be an Easter egg of any sort to Sin Eater, who is just a basic kind of thug, gangster dude. Wears a green ski mask, he uses a shotgun in the comics, so they didn't really go that route. But I don't know. I'm gonna call the dude Sin Eater. Why not, right? It was a pretty fun episode though. I enjoyed it for just a one singular episode. It wasn't all over the place. There wasn't a whole bunch of stuff going on. There was a cameo of Yusuf Khan, who is Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel's father. He is a bank teller, so it's kind of cool that there's a little bit of a crossover there. They're expanding the universe a little bit, which is always appreciated, especially when you're not just shoehorning a superhero in there to be with another superhero. You're getting to meet like a family member, an extended part of that show. So I appreciated that. Thought that was cool. The bank robbers are in there again, looking for a specific jewel. Matt does his, "Oh, I'm a blind guy. I'm dumb, but don't let that fool you," because he takes out some suckers. It was cool to see Matt use his brain and his powers, like especially when he was unlocking the safe vault. Because there's a whole scene where Yusuf pretends to pretend he knows the vault code, and just so they don't kill him, one of the guys brings him downstairs so he can open it, yada yada. Matt sneaks his way down there, ends up, knocking the guy out, and he's, listening as he's opening up the vault. And I just thought that was cool because it's like, yeah, you know what? He would be able to link into that sound and know when the lock actually slips into place and all that stuff. I just thought that was cool. I dug it. A lot of cat and mouse back and forth once they introduced the police and the hostage negotiator, because there's like, I don't know, maybe 10 hostages in the bank. And so again, like I said, there's cat and mouse. There's, hey, you give us this, we'll let out hostages, blah, blah, blah. They do that a couple of times for the dramatic effect and to draw out the episode, which is good. What else we got? And the men are after a yellow diamond, a little yellow jewel. I don't know if there's a significance to it. It might just be a basic, throwaway kind of filler episode, which it kind of was. But it might branch out into something else at some other point. I don't know. I'm not going to poo-poo on it. But it was cool. The bad guy... Oh, yeah. The bad guy, the main guy, Sin Eater, gets away and he's dressed as a cop and he sneaks out, but Matt Murdock is hot on his trail. But before that happens, Sin Eater gives a woman that was a hostage in the bank the jewel and says, "Get this to the boss," or something like that. So there was an inside woman, which they definitely hinted at throughout the show. But you just didn't, I didn't expect it to be that lady. It was pretty cool. Dug that moment, a little double agent kind of thing. So then right after that, you see, Sin Eater walking down the street in like a back alley as a cop, or dressed as a cop, and then Matt Murdock catches up to him and they have like a boop fight. Matt's wearing the red ski mask from one of the Crayola gang members, which I thought that was kind of cool. Like he's got a Daredevil-esque mask on. But as they're fighting, man, Matt slams Sin Eater's face into like a glass bottle, kicks him in the chest. The dude falls back and then just straight up jumps in the air and flamingo kicks the dude's fucking leg. Oh, dude, it's brutal. So now this Daredevil, Matt Murdock, has flamingoed somebody in his show, and then Ben Affleck flamingoed Michael Clark Duncan in the 2003 Daredevil movie. And if you don't know what flamingo means, I will tell you. It's, how your legs go this way and you walk? Yeah, well, he kicked him in the other way, so you look like a flamingo. I call that the flamingo. Anytime I see that in a movie or a show, that's the flamingo. And it was brutal. It was wicked brutal, but really, really badass. Matt ends up returning the jewel. He ended up switching them out. You never see that, so I'm not sure how he did that, but whatever. And then Yusuf invites Matt, "Hey, one of these times you got to come over and have dinner with me and Kamala." So look forward to that maybe potentially in Ms. Marvel season 2. I don't know. And then also, oh no, that's it. That was it for episode 5 of Daredevil Born Again. We're just a rolling baby. And now let's just breeze right through episode 6. They aired both of the, I say aired, but they put both of these episodes up in the same day on Disney Plus. So I was watching them back to back. It starts off with news coverage of vigilantes in the city, and you see like a faraway camera footage of a guy all in black fighting with a sword. That's the fucking swordsman. That's sick. That's a cool way to keep him relevant from Hawkeye, because he is Kate Bishop's stepdad, I believe. I think he's married to the mom. And to also show that he is continuing his vigilante ways, because in that show, Hawkeye, he picked up the mantle of the swordsman. So I was like, let's go. All in. All in. I just hope from far away it looked black, but when you get close, his suit's blue, because he does wear like a blue suit, and you can see his big old mustache. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. You get to find out more about Muse a little bit, and his victims. There are like upwards of 60 victims that he's been killing for the last X amount of months. And he's been painting murals up on the wall of buildings and stuff like that. And the sanitation department, they've been trying to get rid of it, but they can't. So they go to Kingpin or the mayor and they tell him, hey, we've been trying to get rid of these murals and we just can't do it. There's like an epoxy over top of it. And as the sanitation department guy is explaining all this, I gotta say, he was a lot of fun. I don't know why. I just liked his manic, hey, let me just tell you all the bits and pieces of the stuff that you don't really need to know about, but I'm going to keep rattling them off because I don't want to get to the point, because I like to talk to you, Mr. Man. I liked that. I don't know why I did, but that was fun and entertaining, in the way that, the mayor is like, just get to the point. And then he tells him, there's blood in the paintings, and we can't get him off the walls and stuff like that, and yada yada. And now Fisk is put in a position of like, oh man, the sanitation department is finding out that there's a serial killer before my own police, and I have to be in charge of that. That's not good, man. That's not going to look good on me. I got to do something. So within a few scenes, you see Mayor Fisk speaking to the chief of police and being like, hey, I'm making a task force, anti-vigilante task force. And that's basically what happens. And then you see Fisk in like the parking garage of like a police station or whatever, and he's talking to, I don't want to say the crooked cops, but they are the crooked cops, the rougher cops, and giving them like you're now all part of my task force to take down vigilantes and yada yada. And that's going to be interesting going forward, because now, we've got the Punisher, you got Daredevil, you've got the Swordsman in there. I hope they don't fucking kill the Swordsman, dude. Come on, no. Let's not do that. Hector's niece, Angela, she comes back into the fold, and she tells Matt all about, hey, there's this, thing that my uncle was tracking down, this like serial killer essentially, and now he's a little bit more aware of who Muse is. There's the task force thing I talked about. There was also, yeah, right here. Fisk earlier in the episode was confronted by one of the other gang members that they've kind of showed a little bit throughout the season. So to go into this point, there's a scene where Fisk is talking to Vanessa about like, hey, I was confronted earlier and I balled up and I added $1 million to the debt that they owed because, I got to take control back, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's to show like, eventually she's going to show good faith again. I'm not really sure where they're going with it, but it was there. And then they show scenes of Wilson Fisk doing his rounds as the mayor, and he's talking to people that have doubts in him. And one of the people that have doubts in him is the full-on swordsman. They show him full regalia, not full regalia. I don't want to say like he was in his swordsman outfit, but he was in his normal attire at a party or something. They show Fisk getting bigger at one point, like his suit rips, to show you that he's possibly getting bigger, stronger, more muscular, whatever, building towards something. That's definitely foreshadowing. And then a cop tells Matt Murdock all about Muse, and other than like his real name and stuff like that. So Matt really is now has Muse on his radar. Angela ends up going and looking for, I don't know if she's looking for Muse specifically, but she's trying to track down something, and she actually gets caught by him. He brings her back to his little, just, awful little lair, and ends up, starting to extract blood from her, which is like, that was unsettling at first, because it's like, oh shit, she's kind of like a kid, and how far are they actually going to go with this? And then you get the greatest fight scene so far in this season, and that might not be saying much, but to me it is. I like this a lot. You get the back and forth dynamic again, where you get Daredevil fighting Muse, and then you get Kingpin just straight beating the shit out of Adam. Like that, there's no other way of saying it. So Daredevil and Muse, they're just going at it. This fight scene is awesome. Daredevil is using his whip thing. He's doing front flip kicks, and it's awesome. Like, this is Daredevil come to life, man. Like, from the comic book fights. And Muse is just taking the beating. He's throwing it back. Time is sensitive because Angela's slowly dying. These guys are just boom, 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 boom. And then again, it's flipping back to the Kingpin, where he confronts Adam, and he's basically saying, if you can beat me, you can leave. He gives Adam this big old axe, and it's just a straight, it's not a fight. Adam literally takes a few swings. Kingpin breaks the axe and then slams him up into the ceiling, smashes him on a table, double axe handles him in the back, probably breaking his back, and then just proceeds to just pummel the side of his face. It was a slaughter. It was an absolute slaughter, and by far it was the best episode of Daredevil of this season. It was awesome. It was electric from start to finish, in my opinion. You could feel the intensity rising. I didn't know how it was going to culminate between Muse and Daredevil, between Kingpin. I didn't know what was going to happen with Kingpin. I didn't realize that was going to happen, but damn, I am all juiced up. I know Daredevil ends up saving Angela, and Muse gets away, and you just see the Kingpin just sitting in the little cell with Adam laying on the floor. I don't know. I'm assuming he's alive. Kind of almost like Thanos at the end of Infinity War, when he's sitting up on his steps on that little farm, and he's just kind of like, that release. Man, it was badass. So I'm juiced up for episode 7, because that is how they ended episode 6. That is how we are going to end my 4 through 6 review of Daredevil Born Again. But episode 7 is out right now on Disney Plus. I'm going to watch it later today. There's only 3, well, let's exclude this one. There's only 2 episodes left of this season. There was only going to be 9 altogether. So things are really going to come to a head, and I'm super excited for it. Yeah, the first few moments of each episode, I guess, kind of drag on, and it's like, where are we going? What are we doing? Okay, you got me. I'm here. Let's do something. This episode did it. Episode 6 absolutely sold me on. I'm going to be all in for episode 7, 8, and 9. So that being said, here is a almost 25-minute review, thoughts, energies, all sorts of fun stuff for Daredevil Born Again episodes 4, 5, and 6. I hope you guys have enjoyed them. I hope it's made sense. I know I'm a little all over the place. I'm just an excited person. What can I say? And on that note, I hope everybody has a great, great day, and we will see you in the very next video.